Yes, started the stream slightly early just so I could do that chug piece. Yeah, it's my oblique reference to world events. Okay. That works. Okay, let's turn this on. Oh, like that. There we go. I'll take this with me. Let that go on. Okay. Now I've got to do a talky bit. Hey, Luke. What's making that ticking noise over here? Oh, it's the ice in my glass clicking as it bloody climatizes. Okay, now this around here. Doing a pot of puppet pals and the mysterious ticking noise. Oop, I forgot to put my backlights on. Looks so drab without them. Backlights, there we go. Oh yes, that's much less drab. Oh shiz, that's a bit low. I didn't check that. Okay, record. G'day cocktail lovers. I'm continuing to explore the world of doing a milk clarified cocktail without using acid. I did my first test run with an old fashioned and I really liked the result. And I had some of the leftover milk. I was storing it in the fridge and I noticed it just really wants to spontaneously separate. And I thought I'll use that up. So experiment number 2. That's right. It's time for another Milk Punch Monday. Assuming I actually put this up on a Monday. Probably Monday my time. So depending on who you are, where you are, when you are, it might not be Monday. But in spirit, it's a Milk Punch Monday. This time I decided to go for a Manhattan, largely because I had some vermouth that I thought might be past its prime. I had actually barrel aged it and it was a very interesting flavor, but I'm thinking I needed to use it up. And I like a Manhattan and it sounded like an interesting experiment. So I measured how much of the milk was left. And then I thought, you want a ratio of your cocktail to your milk of about 4:1. So then I knew how much I wanted to make it. It was basically a whole bottle. But I decided the mix, it's 1 part of my vermouth, 1 part of an Australian whiskey that's Solera aged, it's a high proof, over 100 proof whiskey, and 1 part Australian rye whiskey, which is also over 100 proof. So it should be pretty interesting. They should hold up because there's a little bit of dilution when you do the milk clarification. But I went ahead and made it with that batch and then filtered it out the way we always do. And it came out a truly incredible color, this sort of bright orange, which I really like as a color. So now it's time for a taste test. So pure and simple, I'm just going to stir this on ice, not for as long as I normally would. So adding some of the drink to glass with mixing, adding a measure of the cocktail to a glass filled with ice, stirring that for about 10 seconds because we don't need the usual dilution. I just want to chill it. And that gives us our clarified Manhattan. Time for a taste. Okay, that is weird. I can't quite place what it is. I think it's a bit salty. It's very odd. Like, I don't hate it. It's not spitted out awful, but it's weird. I don't want it to be weird because I made a lot of it and I don't want it to go to waste. I think I'm going to try a couple little tweaks and see what happens. I'm just going to add just a tiny bit of sugar syrup, like less than a bar spoon. So I don't know, that's like 3 or 4 mils in there. Just give it a quick mix, and I'm making a mess on my bar. And now taste this. That's changed it, but there's still this weird element. It's probably from the whiskies I used. It's got a slightly smoky element. They were finished in very particular barrels. You know what? I went sweet. I'm going to try a little bit of saline because just a couple of drops of saline is a flavor enhancer and could really rescue things. Maybe this will work. I don't know. But I'm just going to give a couple of drops. Stirring it. Oh my God, I'm making such a mess. No, I'm not going to do that. Don't make it cut so. That's better. That is actually much better. Who knew? Salt was the answer with a cocktail. I went sugar and it changed it. Not necessarily for the better, not particularly for the worse either, but adding a little bit of saline. That is much better. It's still a little bit unusual. I am not as sold on this as I was on the old fashioned. I should have made a smaller batch. I had a rush of blood to the head and I just thought, yeah, go for it. Put all that in there. And it's not the most successful experiment I've ever had, but it's nice and it'll keep, this sort of thing is shelf stable, so I don't need to drink it in a hurry. And now I know little bit of saline in it. I may actually try, I have some umami bitters. Next time I make this, I might just put a couple of drops of the umami bitters in and see what that does. That might save it. But hey, experiments don't always mean complete 100% success. Experiments mean learning. And I'm definitely going to try more of these down the track. And I'm pretty much hooked on this powdered milk method of milk clarification. I'm going to explore so many other drinks, and I hope you're along for the ride as well. For now, I'm going to finish this off, and until I see you again, I will say cheers. I am genuinely making a fucking mess up here. Jesus. Okay. Put these away. Ooh, you know what? 15 minutes. I was going to do a tasting video. I have my eggnog. I'm aging eggnog. It's been aging for a month so far. I might really quickly do that as a taste test and then sit down. Which glasses will I put it in? I'll put it in these ones for fun. All right. All right, I will really quickly do this because it's just a taste test. Time for an eggnog check-in. We are 1 month into the experiment, and I'm aging some in glass, and I'm also aging some in a barrel. I was really only going to age it in the barrel, but then I made such a ridiculously large batch. There's all these left over, so I thought I'm saving some of the bottled stuff. I drank a lot of the bottled stuff as well. It's very yummy, but I'm saving some of it for a comparison. So I'm going to do a quick taste test at the 1 month mark. Remember, shake it up. All the guides for when you're aging eggnog say, shake it once a day. So that's today's shake. And I'll pour out a little to taste. And got to do the same with the barrel. Give it a shake and pour a little bit out. I don't want any bits of char. So I'll put that in there just in case some bits of char come out. Well, that's fun. My tap's blocked. That bodes ill. It's a fun turn up for the books. My tap is clogged with like eggnog syrup. It's still very liquid in here. So I guess I'll pour it out from the top. God, this is going to make a mess. I can just see it. Not too bad. That could be a warning sign of things to come, but we'll see. Aged in a bottle, aged in a barrel, they don't look very different. And here's the big taste test. Hey, this is eggs and milk and cream that have been there for a month. I have been keeping them in the fridge because the Australian climate, it's too dangerous to do it at room temperature. Quick taste. That's so yummy. Oh, that's fantastic. Now, does barrel age taste different? I think it is thicker, richer. Well, they both taste good. So on the theory that I don't die tomorrow, I'll try them again in a month. Like, they are genuinely fucking good. Okay, turn that stuff off. Also, I've made a terrible mess that I need to clean up. All right, I do actually need to leave the chickens in charge for a minute or two longer while I clean up. All right, put that light out of the way. My chair back here. But the chickens are still in charge. I'll be back in a minute. Okie dokie, I've got a cleaning cloth. Do it. Clean up my bar a little. Ugh. So I don't want to trip over things. Man, that eggnog is friggin' awesome. I hope I don't poison myself with it. Does that sound like someone who knows what he's doing? Hope I don't poison myself. Okay. Let's switch the banner off because the chickens are gone. What have we all been talking about? Oh, we're talking about the watch. Thanks, Strictly Sega. That's what I thought. Yeah, spoiler alert, I had actually tasted that and it was weird. And I knew I had to do something to try and make it less weird. And I wanted to do that on video. All right. Getting the smartwatch for Christmas. Nice. Anyway, so is this really better? It's definitely better. It doesn't take, the weird thing is, doesn't taste remotely like a Manhattan. Like, not at all. It's its interesting own thing. Oh, never apologize for getting on with some nerd stuff. Talking about the smartwatches. No. Never apologize. I love it. Man, this is truly weird. Again, not in a terrible way. Not wanting to spit it out. Wow. Okay, next time I try that, I'm not going to add any sugar syrup. I'm just going to add a couple of drops of something salty and see what it's like. Oh, Class Plus Cointreau and Sunkissed on ice. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. No, that's seriously, delicious is the only qualifier required. You do something and people can razz you for it, but if it tastes good, to hell with everything else. Okay, are these glasses big enough for this ice? They are not. Okay. Sorry, I forgot to get my stuff out of the dishwasher, but I have lots of glasses, so big old chunk of ice. I'm going to have the rest of my old-fashioned, my clarified old-fashioned. Telstra is offering a Pixel 2 smartwatch with a Pixel 8 Pro. Yeah, you have to be in the market to get a new watch, new phone, and B, that type of phone. How much did I make up? I made about 700 mils of it. I've still got this much, which is about 600 mils. It's a lot. It's a lot of drinks. It's like 6 drinks. 6 generous drinks. So I won't be gone for a while. I love that jog. They charge you the equivalent of the Taj Mahal for the monthly service fee. Yeah. Yeah, there aren't a lot of viable phone carriers here. I don't even remember when I got my iPhone. But they've got me. Apple's got me in the soft handcuffs because I'm kind of committed to some of the games that I have on the phone that I'd lose. Plus, I have no problems with the iPhone. I have no desire to change one. No, people who I'm not like an iPhone partisan. It's what I've got, and I have no urge to change. Just putting orange oil on my glass. Love the smell of orange oil. Oh, and I'm gonna. That's just syrup. Where's my cherries? Seriously. Oh, there. What are my cherries? Yes, I have a 5G iPhone. You're with Kogan, $120 a year. Yeah, Safa, I don't need more apps. I simply don't. It's just the ones I've got that I'm kind of committed to. So I'm not going to swap phones because it's just not convenient for me. Heine is still an 8 Plus. That's sticking to it. So Chog, use the iPhones for business, Samsung for business. Always Samsung for personal. Okay. Yearly phone plans. Yes. Only rich people can afford iPhones. Well, that's not true. You pay it off. I don't even know what phone I have. I never remember shit like that. Settings. Where's my about? About. Okay. iPhone 13 Pro Max. Okay. With 256 gigabyte storage. And in retrospect, I need more than that. I manage it, but I have to actively manage it, which is a little bit annoying. Yeah, Heine, you're right. It's never going to hold more than 80% of a charge. They deteriorate noticeably after about 2 years, the batteries. So, strictly saying, your yearly plan, 200 gig data, free calls, free SMS. Don't use that as home Wi-Fi, of course. Yes, I hardly ever use my actual data on the phone. Sometimes I do, but not very often. If I'm loading stuff, I'll do it at home on Wi-Fi. Right. Now that's oh man, that's so fucking good. I am so going to experiment with these milk clarified old fashions. Not that this should change the fact you're using Kogan Strictly Sega, but I personally have a problem with the Kogan company because the guy who runs it's a fuckwit. You know, who's not a fuckwit in business, honestly. 60 a month to 120 a year is certainly a very big difference. Most of the cost of mine is paying off my phone. But the weirdest thing, well, his name's Kogan, and he's a fucking asshole. It's like a climate change denier. He's probably a fucking Trump fan. Kogan bought the rights to use the Dick Smith name online, if I remember rightly. But yeah, the founder of Kogan's a complete fucking asshole. But again, that shouldn't affect using it as a provider, because I will fall back on, well, who in business is not a complete asshole? It's just that I'm not already in it, so I'm not that thing. Suffer, I have no idea of his background. I just remember seeing him do stuff with fucking being a climate change denier, and it's just like, you absolute piece of shit. I was on Vodafone for a while, and yeah, I sort of paid more for Telstra for the coverage. I mean, I was on like the ones that don't exist anymore, like 3. Ages ago, I was on 3, and then they don't exist anymore. They changed to some. They might have changed to Vodafone, but I got the shits with them at a certain point, and I did end up switching to Telstra for my sins. Mm. Oh, no, Orange. Yes, I was with Orange for a while. There was a whole thing. I was with Orange for a while. I was with 3 for a while, and they ceased to exist, or someone bought them. Like, I don't know. Didn't Optus buy Orange? I'm not sure. But yeah, those little minor brands ceased to exist in Australia, and I've ended up with Telstra. Look, I look like I'm being super conservative. If I do that, it's just like I'm wearing a white shirt. Oh no, and there's a little thing there. But look, see, there's all sorts of colourful drinks down there. It's just when I'm sitting down, you can't see them. Crazy Johns. Oh my God, they were around for a while, weren't they? Didn't something happen to him? Yeah, Vodafone's not big on the coverage outside of the capital cities. Yes, Orange still exists in the UK, don't they? I could be wrong on that, but I think they are. There you go. Here we are, given ads for various phone companies tethered to your Optus phone to get reception. You gotta do what you gotta do. Oh, that is fucking yummy. Anyway, I had a good sleep in this morning, and then Mrs. Angry made pancakes. So I had a fucking great Sunday. Just fucking chilled, watched the last 2 episodes of Ahsoka, and just had a chill time. Did some video editing, did some video planning. So like I was planning these ones I shot tonight. Oh, that's because there you go. Looking up Wikipedia, T-Mobile bought Orange. There you go. So Vodafone Hutchins is one of the biggest. Yeah, they're big outside of Australia, I think. I have not done a comparison on price in like forever. Oh, okay. Strictly say you've been fucking around in the shop all day. Yeah. Glad you've got the time to sit and chill. Yeah, I just had a really chill day. Yeah. Did my laundry. That's how exciting my day was. As I watched a bit of TV. Finished my rewatch of Mr. In Between. So there's 3 seasons of that. Such a good show. So worth doing. Like the final shot as the only fourth wall break in the whole series, where Ray looks straight at the camera and goes, it's a very funny way to finish. It's just, here we go. Yeah, so I finished that. I watched first episode of the latest season of What We Do in the Shadows. Mrs. Angry's decided she's sick of What We Do in the Shadows. So I have to watch that on my own. I did notice, I didn't watch any. I did notice new season of, or at least the first episodes of a new season of Our Flag Means Death is available. I have to check and see how many episodes are actually available. Well, that's interesting, Chog. In parts of New South Wales, region dictates Optus or Telstra. All right. Feeling depressed, Sunday blues. Look, I reckon there's a bunch of reasons to feel a bit bleh on Sunday, particularly if to go to work on the Monday. It's like, no, I had a little bit of free time and now it's all gone. But I think at any time it's quite normal. Ooh, a bit of what you're saying. Let me get the Discord happening. Where are we on the Discord? Load that sucker up. All right, let me. All right. Oh, this is pretty. Okay, let's. Oh, what am I doing? Let's share this. Where are we? All right. So play this.
Got it all working. So that's a laser disc. And then 3, 2, 1, and go. Now, that's an HD DVD. And then that's a normal computer.
Neat. Love seeing the setup like that. So, what would I rate Ahsoka? I don't know, about 7. Wasn't terrible. I enjoyed it. Wasn't great. Wasn't legendary TV. Like Mr. In Between, 9. Such a good show. Ahsoka, I don't regret watching. So it's a 7. I doubt I'll ever rewatch it. Heine, all news is going to get buried because of war in Israel. Oh, nice. So that's your setup for doing orders and testing discs. Nice. Nice little setup. It's a funny old world. So, yeah, I just had an extremely lazy day. Oh, here we go. Some discs get a thing called laser rot. Ugh. Technology's wild. I mean, with all the strengths and the various shortcomings of different technologies, like we never know how long anything's going to last. Like if something's on a disc, how long does that last? I did actually see your logo. Yes, Home for the Elderly. Which is so funny. You had to explain that to me because my fucking brain doesn't work, and it's actually super obvious. But deep sigh. The way it is. Ooh, you know what I reckon would be a really good clarified cocktail? A rusty nail. I reckon that'd be really good. So laser rot, watching TV, analog TVs out in the bush, little dots of static. Yeah. It's just because I guess it's noise that when the system is trying to interpret what it reads, if there's some problem with the surface of the disk, it gets incomplete or incorrect information, so it can break up. I did see, this is not directly related, but it's not completely unrelated. I did see a fun video on YouTube recently, someone just showing the decay in multiple generations of video, like downloading and saving and re-uploading and downloading. And it was more, they were actually doing it with VHS video. They were recording VHS video, playing it back and recording it again, playing it back and recording it. And each time you do that, it degrades. And it takes about 3 generations to be noticeable. But then it gets really noticeable. And they were a really good video editor because they were just switching between the fresh video and the degraded video. And particularly they would they do this thing where they go the original generation and later generation, and it changes as they move their finger along. It's a really interesting explanation. And yes, I do remember years ago someone did it just with a YouTube codec, and they did it hundreds of times. And it didn't take that long till all there was on the screen was noise, visual and auditory noise. But it was fascinating. Like they just uploaded to YouTube, downloaded the YouTube video, re-uploaded that, downloaded it, re-up, and it just degraded and degraded and degraded. And this person had the patience to do it hundreds of times. And they were just trying to communicate to you, even just an upload to YouTube degrades the quality compared to the source video. What's funny? Discussion about vinyl and audio, same principle. Yes. No, dude. It's a whole thing. It's particularly okay, like cassettes. In my day, when you wanted to do like a mixtape, or maybe you just do the whole album, you'd like record vinyl to cassette, and the cassette didn't have the same sound fidelity as the vinyl. But there's different tape systems, and it's basically the bigger and the thicker the tape, the higher the quality the analog recording on it is. But oh my God, just needs must when the devil drives. We used to do all sorts of things recording to cassette, sometimes even with a cassette recorder next to a speaker to get a really shitty recording. I think 8 tracks are a thicker tape than cassette, so I think we're technically better quality sound than a cassette. They never caught on in Australia. Like literally in my whole life, I only ever saw one person with an 8-track player in their car. They were bigger in America, possibly in Europe, I'm not sure. But I know they were bigger in America, but they never caught on here. It depends, strictly speaking, because this is a thing. Early compact discs used to tell you whether the recording was analog or digital. There'd be a code on the CD that told you if the source was analog. It varied, and it also, I think, and I'm not an expert. In fact, I think you are considerably more an expert than me. I think it kind of depends what you call digital as well, because stuff was mastered onto tape. Again, if you were a big band with a big budget, your masters would actually be on quite thick tape, like cassette tapes that thick. Albums would be mastered on tape that's about that thick, which could have many more tracks and have better quality. So that was it. AAD, ADD, and DDD. I guess DAD would have been popular. So, Jog, the vinyls is the experience. Oh, the album art. It was always a bit of a disappointment to me going from vinyl 12-inch to CDs this big, because I used to really love album art. And of course, vinyl gave birth to hip hop and remixes, with DJs in the 70s discovering, if they had 2 decks, they could do really quite complex things and mix and do the scratch mixing and whatnot. I was always a big fan of that, actually. Scratch mixing, which got really popular in the 80s with the But yeah, of course, the recording in studios, you were using electronic equipment. So arguably the recording that was going into the tape was digital. I think it's going to depend how you define digital and analog, because I don't believe the terms are absolutely cut and dried. He said being willing to defer to anyone who has more knowledge of him of the technology, which is going to be a lot of people, quite honestly. So Trog, CD was superior with regard to bit rate. Yeah, and look, this is kind of like also the guitar amplifiers that had the oh god, what were those things called that looked like light bulbs? My fucking brain's gone blank. Valves. The valve guitar amplifiers versus the completely digital guitar amplifiers. Some people will believe there's a warmer sound, a more natural sound with vinyl that you don't get on the completely digital CD. I would not really push that, because I think people fool themselves on that. But yeah, there was a whole thing about amplifiers and with the valves. See, again, you know the technology more than me, and the digital guitar amps. And no, Safa, that's a completely different thing, because you're not restreaming. Everyone's getting Netflix from the same source, so everyone's getting Netflix the same, theoretically. Yes, there could be that, Strictly Sega. If you are recording your Netflix stream on your phone and then sending it to someone, that will be degraded. Sorry, I have seen some funny things of people doing like TikToks or whatnot with filters. Filters to do weird things, but actually recording something off TV. And so the people in the TV show or movie have this filter applied. It can be very funny. Chog, you have a preference for physical media? It's not even okay. The thing with physical media, it's not completely subjective. And as you say, yeah, it is theoretically possible for a really high res streaming service to offer, but there's a whole thing to having physical media and having a bit more control over it. I'm sure some people do watch Netflix on a 4K mobile phone display. But yeah. Oh yeah, no, I have stopped buying physical media, but I do love it, and I have a pretty not an absolutely huge collection like Strictly Sega has an absolutely huge collection, but I do have a couple of 100 discs of movies and TV shows, and several milk crates of vinyl, and a fair whack of CDs as well, actually. But I just figured, man, I was paying this much for a single thing of physical media, and that's a couple months of streaming services. So I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to put that money into the streaming services. I mean, having said that, I'm like, I refuse to get any more. So I don't see anything that's on Apple TV, and they apparently have some good shows. And there's a few others, and I'm just like, yeah, but you know what? I'm just not getting any more. Strixie got over 3,000 titles. Nice. You got rid of your Sonos system, reverted to old hi-fi ways. Oof, yeah, no, I can imagine. I'm not that big of an audiophile. I feel like we are going. I feel like streaming's already hit its peak. I think we're past the peak of streaming. A bunch of companies got greedy because they saw Netflix making money, so they all thought they could make money, and so they fucking undermined the whole model, and they undermined their own money-making model, which was ridiculous. And I think there'll be a big shakeout, and I don't really see Disney dipping out of streaming just because they're so fucking huge. I don't really see Netflix going away, but who knows? And Prime Video is going to exist so long as egotistical billionaire wants it to. And honestly, the same with Apple TV is going to continue to exist because Apple just has mountains of money to burn, and it's going to continue to exist so long as the people running Apple think it increases their prestige. Oh, yeah. Dolby Atmos, hi-fi. Okay. So your Chug's getting serious now because the speakers are what matters. Yeah. Hey, Justin, how you doing, by the way? So, Safa, you going Bravo? Oh, see. It sounds like you're on Wikipedia. If you're listening to Atmos on the soundbar, you can leave right now. I literally, I mean, honestly, because of course, flat screen TVs have shit speakers. So I didn't get a super expensive soundbar, but I didn't get a super cheap one either. But that is hilarious to me. Like, you can spend all this money on a flat screen TV, but you have to whack out a decent amount of cash if you want to have halfway decent sound, because those screens are just too thin to have a decent speaker on them. So you have to invest a decent whack of cash if you want decent sound, which is funny to me. No. Again, how many is my sound bar? One. I have one sound bar. I know what you're saying. I'm being stupid. There. Yeah, Chog, thin TVs can't break the laws of physics. You just can't have a good speaker in them. I got a relatively simple but good. It's kind of disappointing to me that it's not. There are two speakers in my soundbar, but it's sort of just there, so it's not true stereo sound. I could invest in one of those 5-to-1 systems. I can't be fucked. There was a period when I had big ass speakers on my hi-fi. I just can't be fucked anymore. Ha! The Cointreau's bringing in type. Oh my god, that's the other thing I had to test. Sorry, you've just reminded me. My homemade orange liqueur, which I've been barrel aging. I need to taste to see what it tastes like, because it's been in the barrel for about a month. Let me get a tasting glass. No, this will do. Little skull. God, I gotta remember which one it is. Okay, so that's my eggnog, which I've got to put back in the fridge. It'll be funny. Check the Discord tomorrow to see if I'm violently vomiting and shitting myself, because my eggnog is contaminated, because it's a month old now, and that's eggs and milk and cream. Right. Well, it feels like it's full of something. That is obviously the vodka one. It's almost empty. Okay, that's really full. I think that's port. Let me see. I think this is my blood orange liqueur. Let's see. I'll pour it out. Oh yeah, no, this is the blood orange liqueur, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's it. All right. Oh, it's a beautiful color. Beautiful blood red color. All right, so I've been barrel aging this for about a month. My blood orange liqueur. Man, that's really fucking good. That's really fucking good. Man. The idea popped into my head today to do this clarification on this as well. don't know. Oh man, this is really good. You like your contract? I mean, why not? Chug your Bunnings spent $50 on home minis. Oh, I'm scared of smart devices, honestly. Yeah, 4.1 hi-fi setup. Main speakers, tiny 10 centimeter cubes. Works with a subwoofer. Yeah, went through about 4 subwoofers. Oh, nice. Yeah, Honey's doing quadraphonics. That was a big thing, yes. That's a big 70s thing, quadraphonics. So you got Chrome audio devices. There you go. Man, okay, that is really fucking yummy. That blood orange liqueur I've made. So, honey, your bro is a sound engineer. Everyone eventually realizes they can't get surround sound to work properly. Oh, dear. So I feel like I'm hearing Discord beeps. No, what's that? Oh, okay. So Strictly Sega's put the thing vinyl's digital, get over it. So, right. I'm going to get you to explain this to me, Strictly Sega. This thing here, Pirates of the Caribbean. So, what are we seeing there? What's that? What is that setup? Because that's kind of fascinating to me. So that seems like a stereo thing with a little screen on it. So that's your amp. Your amp has a little screen on it. Chog says, that's hi-fi masturbation. All right, so that's Strictly Sega's amp. So there's a little video screen on it. Is that what's going on there? So it's a preview of the disc you're playing before you turn on the TV. Okay. Yes, yeah. So that's just a monitor screen, not intended for watching. Ah, God, I almost clicked on end stream. What the fuck is wrong with me? I'm not that drunk. Okay. Well, that was a genuinely interesting thing. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you can skip past FBI warnings. Well, that's going to be handy, quite honestly. All right, I think I might have some sooty water. And I dropped the lid. God damn it. All right, so you're familiar with it, Chog, the Rotel model for in-home streaming. I ceased kind of tracking technology like that years ago. Do, 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 do. Oh, yum. Blood orange and sage, which they don't make anymore. I love this. You stream from your PC with Plex for 4K backups in Minecraft because that might be technically illegal. Well, there was a thing. There were genuinely people who were running, making serious money out of VHS copying. I don't know if anyone was ever prosecuted for doing it at home because it was always ridiculous. It was like, and I remember seeing this, like, when I had little kids, you get something on Laserdisc and someone's trying to say, like, okay, my kids want to see things 1,000 times and they might damage it. So the first thing I want to do is copy that DVD onto VHS so they can just play it on the VHS till they fuck up the VHS tape, and then I can make another one, because they'll fuck up the DVD. So I just want to copy the DVD to a cheap medium so they can play it over and over until they fuck it up. But that's technically, it's bullshit. This infringement on what we can do with something that we've paid for and we're not making money off, it's just making it ease of use for us, is fucking bullshit. And I don't think anyone's really pursued that for ages. So Chog, you referring someone copied a film from free-to-air TV show. Okay. To strictly say, you got a letter from Paramount. We know who you are. Stop loading or us. Holy shit. I actually agree with you, Chog. Frame it. I mean, my God. Jesus, that's wild. Yeah, strictly saying, we would only do this in Minecraft. We would not do this in real life, because we're all law-abiding citizens, even the laws that don't make any fucking sense. What's the time? Come up at 9. Kind of tempted to try this again. With the, where's my umami bitters? I'm kind of tempted to try that one again. See what I do it. So it's true to say your attention got diverted by Netflix. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. All right, I'm going to try something over here. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I think that tastes almost nutty. Weird clarified drink I made. I don't know what I did. I put a bit more ice in here. Now, let us go then, you and I. Oh. Okay, let's put a bit of this in here. A bit of that in there. Wo ist meine? Where's my umami bitters? Whiskey bitters. Fuck did I do with my umami bitters? Chinese fire spice. Is that it? That's the umami bitters. Japanese bitters. Okay. Put a few drops of that in. Just a few drops. Now this glass over here. Let's just do a little mixy mix. Here. Okay. Shit's weird, yo. And I made a mess. Alright. Bring this over here. And set down ladder. Put my orange peel in there. Oh, it just disappears. It's a nice orange colour. Put my cherry in there. It's really weird. Putting this on ice makes it go cloudy. Okay. The umami bitters takes away the weirdness, but makes it taste salty. I should put fewer drops. I put about 4 drops in. I should maybe put 2 drops in. Oh, so yeah, weird laws. Don't sell liquor on Sunday. Running in front of your horseless carriage. Okay. Stricky said, you have a friend in Minecraft who can fix things for you in Minecraft. Okay, talking about weird laws. The weekend trading laws for retail used to be very weird. And of course, it's unrestricted now. Shops can be open whenever they want. But until relatively recently, there were a whole bunch of weird trading restrictions on weekend, particularly on Sunday. And for some reason, when laws were relaxed, like bookshops were allowed to open on a Sunday, but say a furniture retailer wasn't. So a guy who was effectively protesting this, who was owned a furniture store, he would open on Sundays and say, today is book selling day, and he'd have a bed and say the bed's $1,000, and he'd have a book like some latest book and blah blah. This is the latest bestseller. It's a thrilling spy intrigue. Da, 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 da. And then he'd throw it on the bed and say, "And it's yours today for $1,000, and I've just put it on this handy platform, which you can use to carry the book home." So his argument was he wasn't selling the bed, he was selling the book. The bed actually just came free with the book. He was just highlighting how stupid the laws were, and it eventually worked. Chog wants to join the Minecraft server. Oh, damn. Oh, yes. No, I remember you doing the streaming nights with the lads on Discord, which definitely sounds like fun in Minecraft. It's so funny because it got rid of whatever I'm repeating myself, but it got rid of whatever the weirdness was. But now it's a bit salty. That's so fucking weird. Chemistry. I think that's chemistry. It's some very weird chemistry. C'est la vie. Or as the French prefer to pronounce it, c'est la vie. Trust me, that's how the French pronounce it. I'm literally going like, what can I do with this? I'm feeling like actually an orange liqueur is probably the way to go with that. It's just going to be a very different thing. Ooh, Strictly Sega popping a link in the Discord. We're all about links in the Discord. Oh, okay. I might actually join that one. Neat. Oop, I was on the wrong thing there. All right, so that link's in the Discord. So, yeah. Oh, Chog, the controversial thing was obviously Israel. Oh, the vote next week. Now, well, I mean, I don't even think that's controversial. I've been absolutely direct, forthright, unabashed with advocating a yes vote. No, the controversial thing was fucking Israel. Because that shit is popping off. Oh no, yeah, no. I joined the Minecraft server. I'm on it. Justin, are you not having sex with that person already? That seems like that's what the answer must be. Strictly say, okay, is that a genuine question? Some Hamas militants launched an incredibly aggressive attack on Israel from Palestine. And that shit is likely to pop off. Israel declared itself at war over the Gaza attack. And so in the first 12 hours, like hundreds are dead. And to my mind, it's something no one fucking predicted. I didn't see news over the last couple of weeks of tensions raising and raising. But yeah, out of Gaza, massive attacks were launched on Israel, caught them completely by surprise. And that shit can escalate really really quickly. Chog, the scale of what's happened in the last 12 hours is pretty fucking shocking. Israel seemed to have been caught completely by surprise by the scale of the attacks. If you want my doomsday projection for this has come out of left field as far as I was concerned, but your worst case scenario is the people behind this attack have had two thoughts. One, we launch this really full-on attack against Israel and catch them by surprise. Neighboring countries in this part of the world will see two things. They will see success of an attack on Israel and be emboldened. And then second, they will see Israel's inevitable, extremely heavy-handed response, which will kill just an horrific number of civilians. Okay, my hot take is worth, two steaming hot shits. But here's a little hypothesis I'm extrapolating here. The people who decided to launch an extremely aggressive attack against Israel knew Israel would also come back with a really over-the-top response. I suspect what they are hoping for is all the neighboring countries to join in and attack Israel. I just think it's an horrific situation with the potential downside of this situation is absolutely fucking horrific. Up to and including nuclear deployment is a possibility in this. And on top of everything that we knew about and everything that we were worried about because it's front and center, this has just fucking popped out. And it's like, oh, cool. Cool. That whole part of the world might be a glowing fucking crater. Jesus Christ, it's like we don't have enough fucking problems. We don't have enough extremely dangerous things. And that's the thing, Israel has been provided with nukes. Oh no, the nuclear deployment fucking freaks me out. So, Justin, I'm sure it's just your neighbor, but it was just funny that you pointed out. It was saying there was someone 0 meters away. I was like, are you having sex right now? Are you looking on Grindr while you're having sex right now? It was just too hard to resist that line. But yes, just done in good fun. But yeah, no. When I like the thing of this peaceful Sunday night stream, no controversy, is just because that whole Israel situation, shit's fucked up, yo. And I live in the most Jewish area of Australia, so all my neighbors are going to be super fucking upset. Oofed, but no, it's very concerning what's happening, because there's kind of no limit to the potential escalation, because the potential escalation goes right up to nuclear exchanges, which would result in the complete destruction of the global economy and what we regard as the world as we know it. Chog, I'm also glad I don't live in the Middle East. I do remember reading a thing. Okay, so the state of Israel was set up after World War II to try and provide protection to the Jewish people after the horrors of the Holocaust. But I'm just of the mind, do you really think the colonizers who set this up genuinely have everyone's best interests at heart? Because they're a-holes. I have read once, you probably find it if you search really hard, at the time the state of Israel was being created, I think it was published in Time magazine or something, a letter from the King of Jordan. And it was really intelligent and thoughtful and measured. And it can be summed up as, guys, I feel like this is a mistake. There are a range of options available at the moment to take care of the Jewish people and give the Jewish people a state. What you're proposing seems like it's going to create problems. It sure did. Well, I don't think Ukraine has control of any nuclear weapons, do they? And it would be more than a tad counterproductive for Russia to deploy nuclear weapons that close to their own border. Like, it seems like Putin thoroughly believed in the short victorious war thing. He would never have launched this operation if he had thought it would drag on this much, which is my worthless hot take. Justin, in other news, we brought nuclear. Yes, the guy who's, I think he's, God, doesn't he make boxes? The Australian billionaire that Trump just gave a whole bunch of secrets to. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Safa. Ukraine returned nukes to Russia in the 90s. Yeah, and I just don't think Russia wants to deploy nukes there because they actually want the territory, and they won't have the territory if they nuke it. But who the fuck knows? Not me. Also, I'm just throwing out there, not the people who are always in the media as pundits. I feel like they're full of shit. That's him, Pratt. See, Vizzy. I knew it was someone who did cardboard boxes. Thank you, Heine. But yeah, I mean, Trump's just such a fucking loose unit. He's such a fucking weirdo. Oh, Justin, the whole thing with nuclear subs thing is fucking ridiculous. John, you think Ukraine not having nukes makes a difference? Well, but that's the thing. I think Putin literally, he wants the territory, and he doesn't have the territory if he nukes it. I think he thought it would be a quick resolution in his favor
but you know, who the fuck knows what's happening behind closed doors? Definitely not me. You know, because I'm a white guy with an ego. If someone asks me, I'm going to give an opinion. But I feel like pointing out my opinion is, you know, close to worthless. Oh yeah, no, that just the scale of the fuck ups from Morrison is stunning. Is just bizarre. Like, but that's the thing with evangelicals that think God put them in their position. That's just a recipe for trouble. Yeah, I definitely have an idea for the next time I try this clarified Manhattan, which doesn't taste remotely like a Manhattan. I'm putting an orange liqueur in it. It just tastes like it needs an orange liqueur. There was a proposal for a Jewish homeland in Australia. There were so many different proposals. Hey, Hannah, you've wandered in. Weird part of the conversation. You had an hour watching someone make music with chickens. Yes. No, I love the people who do music with the rubber chickens. Why can't you do more than that? So I feel like it's looking at me embarrassedly. No. Oh, wow. I feel like the people who do that and do that really well are actually musicians, and I am not musical. Look, honestly, I might get some more rubber chickens or ducks or geese or something. So just got a whole thing. And Hannah, I actually appreciate you just jumping in with rubber chicken talk. Rubber chicken version of Spice Girls Wannabe. Nice. Oh, Mrs. Chogg's got some rubber. I bet I can find some like in the party supply stores near me, or $2 shops or whatnot. I actually bought those chickens online, and I bought a whole bunch of them, and I don't know where the rest of them are. I bought way more than 4, way more. It's like 10 or 12. I don't know where they are. But yeah, I might get some more, because the whole reason I got them is because the videos where someone shows where there's enough of them, and it's usually like a couple dozen, and you press them down and release them. There's something with harmonics and whatnot where it just turns into an unearthly scream. And I don't get rubber pig dog toys. Every fucking kid at work squeezes those things repeatedly. Want to stab him? No, the chickens are. There's a bed next to me. The chickens are on the bed next to me. I need more though. So I found 4 of them, and there's definitely more. So I just love that arrangement of them. Ah, that one's falling over. Okay, go over there. It's all the sorry. Just random things I have here. Look at this looks dangerous, doesn't it? As a smokehead. Really smoky. God, the smoke's just radiating off them because I did taste them. So there's a single malt scotch. Ugh. Okay, so there's 3 in here. There's a single malt scotch that's 43%. So that's civilized. Then there's a rum cask finish, which is 46%. And then there's a cask strength one, 58%. That's pretty fucking serious. Oh god, see, Chog, what were you saying? I was saying about the fucking the colonizers who set up the state of Israel They were not completely altruistic. It was a power play and whatnot. And do not trust the colonizers of Europe and the United States when they do something, is all I'm saying. And Hannah, I also agree, screaming chicken, we can all identify with. Do a little thing here. I think I did, I did tiny tastes of these before. God, they're so that actually almost smells like burnt rubber. It's right on the cusp. It's still pleasant, but it's right on the edge of being not pleasant. Oh, that's actually no, that's pleasant. That's good. Ooh, it's this. Okay, you know what this is making me think of? It's a banana that's been sat on a barbecue. Oh man, that's really weird. Choc, I also agree. Establishing in Israel and Australia would have been divisive, but it's where they set it up is probably the most divisive of all. I do not think the colonial powers that made that decision were altruistic when they made it. It was a power play. And chicken music's your relaxation time after having a shocker. Ugh! Shift ended with a police statement. Holy shit. Yeah, no. Much sympathy, empathy to you, Hannah. That's some fucked up shit. Oh, damn. I'm just going to drink some soda water now. It's a whole thing, is what I'm saying. Like, I literally got this little gift pack. I got this post-Christmas. It's stuff that's obviously designed for Christmas gifts. And sometimes just post-Christmas, you can get them really cheap because they didn't sell them. And it's like, okay. Now it's actually a good price because they're just trying to get it off the shelf. So Chog was saying, trying to eject everyone. Yeah, no, it's certain things you can't reverse. Even if in retrospect you can look at them and go, well, that wasn't a great idea, but you can't actually reverse it because the decision was made, actions were taken. Says Hannah, you told a staff member have scissors on the counter where customers don't have scissors on the counter where customers can reach them. Scissors being left. Oh no! Oh, what the fuck? Honestly, that's bullshit, Hannah. After you told someone not to do something that's so self-evident you shouldn't have to tell them. God damn it. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. God damn it. Well, at least I don't have a huge amount of direct interaction with the actual public in my job. So, people, rare. I think I have some time set up with my boss tomorrow to talk through a thing. It's like, okay, yeah, so there was an idea that a thing would happen. You know what? That thing can still happen. If you want that thing to happen, here's what we will have to do to make the thing happen. Do you want to do those things? But I also think I have a good relationship with my boss that I can just be really open and go, look, okay, current situation here. The thing we said we were going to do is here. To get from current situation to the thing we said we're going to do, we need to do the following. Do we actually want to do those things? or will we revise the plan? So we're going to do another thing. Oh, Chog, I'm all about the fucking innovation, man. It's actually okay because I do cybersecurity. I do disaster recovery planning. This talk is all about disaster recovery planning, and I don't know. I don't know what it says about me, but I kind of like it. I kind of like doing the worst case scenario shit. So Hannah, your boss's response: "Are you okay? Did you stab him back?" Would you have to check into? Okay. Well, it's. I feel like your boss has got your got your back, Hannah. Justin, reconciliation definitely needs to happen. I did see a thing. The Pan African Coalition made a statement that seemed pretty fucking solid to me, quite honestly. And it was like, everyone needs to come back to the table and have a genuine discussion about how do we make the two-state solution work for real. Because the far right, who've had power in Israel for a while, have been fucking dicks for a while. And everyone needs to go, you know what, chill out, but there needs to be a genuine discussion about a two-state solution. I look at me talking as if I know shit. I don't know if anyone else has watched the Netflix series Ozark, but I do recommend it because it's pretty full on. It's a good drama, and the stakes are really high all the way through. But yeah, when this one character who's trying to sort things out, look, I don't know shit about fuck, or I don't know fuck about shit. I forget which way she says it, but I really feel it when she says it. Hannah, reconciliation, yes. Actually, good call, Anna. It's not about reverting to some magical past. It's how do we collectively move forward? And we do need to acknowledge where we fucked up. Hey, Celtic King, by the way, how you doing? Cruising on into a Sunday evening. I think I don't need to drink any more alcohol. Oofed. Strictly say, for movie geeks, World Movies tomorrow. There's a doc at 4 p.m. Fellini-opolis about, okay, the Italian director Federico Fellini. Okay, good call. Chog, issue just an average Australian doesn't want to feel responsible. Yeah, it's the whole thing. Oh, Celtic, you know us, mate. We're talking about everything. Did venture into the very dangerous territory of the frankly terrifying military escalation between Gaza and Israel. Chog, I feel like the whole thing is very complex. It's kind of like, well, I do agree that there's not a huge amount of value in wallowing in feelings of guilt, but I also feel like it isn't possible to move forward without acknowledging who you've wronged and how you've wronged them. Justin, what if they put Israel in Germany? Well, that's a whole kettle of fish, isn't it, though? I'm going to see what ABC News is saying, actually. Saying more than 300 people killed, 1,800 injured. Oh, and there's kidnappings going on. Arab League chief heads to Moscow for talks. Oh, yeah, and there's tension on the Lebanon border as well. All right, so 2 hours ago, experts predict hard choices for Israeli government. The Carnegie Middle East Center senior associate says It's going to push Israel to really hard thinking about long term. Think some sort of process is going to come out of this. What exactly that is very difficult to see. I imagine Hamas has a gradated list of objectives. If they've got hostages, they're going to negotiate really hard and milk it for all it's worth. But the Israeli government has hard choices to make. Big changes in Israel coming, which could enable different kind of politics in relation to Gaza. It's just fucked. It's just like so many people are getting killed by this shit. It's just fucked. And that is a good point. People trying to ignore the past, sweep it under the rug, and do nothing is not good. Individual people haven't wronged, and that is the thing. And that is a balancing act. Individuals alive today have not necessarily wronged anyone, but we have to. Another thing is, I feel like you have to admit when you have benefited from the wrongs done in the past. So now you're saying, take the time to say, we fucked up. That was bad. It's wrong. It's not us. Yeah, it is really difficult. It's just difficult. So Hannah, yeah, we are in a quite complex situation where it's like, okay, I'm a white person. I personally haven't done any oppressing of Indigenous people. Have I benefited from a couple of 100 years of exploitation and oppression? Absolutely, definitely. Should I be actively involved in processes to address past injustice? Yes, please show me how I can do that. I think we need to balance between I am not personally responsible for horrible injustices of the past, because I'm not. But I think we should be looking to what active role can I play in redressing the horrible injustices of the past? Because I need to accept horrible injustices happened. Murder, rape, pillage, all this fucking shit, which, has benefited non-Indigenous people. So I think the big thing is me personally, I am not personally responsible for the horrors of the past, but what role can I play in moving towards some reconciliation, some redress for past inexcusable injustices? That's my personal view. That's how I see things. Did I do any of the horrible things? No. Have I benefited because of the horrible things that were done? Yes. Is it beholden on me to look for ways to address past injustices and move to a more positive future? I believe yes. Ooh, Hannah, that's a really good take. Something as simple as walking into a GP appointment. Most white Australians feel comfortable walking into any doctor's office. It's complicated. My whole thing is it's complicated. So what are you saying, Chog? White people in housing commission? Yes. Oh, look, and that's the whole thing. Particularly if you are, like, if you're a cishet white person and shit's against you, and again, because there's class issues and whatnot, you might not understand why people who aren't you are saying white people are fucking me over, and you're going, hey, I'm not fucking anyone over, I'm being fucked over here. It can be complex and difficult to balance the things and go, yeah, there's a bunch of shit working against me right now, but it's not working against me because I'm a white person. There is a bunch of shit that works against white people, definitely. And that's class-based stuff. Indigenous cultures have practiced like doctor options. Yeah, that's a good thing. Imagine living in the country where you're born. Every time you walk out the front door, it's like, yeah, it's fucking tough. And Chog, it is true. Look, there's religious groups have those things. And here's the thing, because I am absolutely a fucking class warrior. And I feel like the whole thing kind of this is angry being a radical fucking lefty. The whole thing is the people in the ruling classes exploit their positions to cause division among the huge swath of the population they are exploiting and fucking over. And the economic exploitation of the lower classes crosses gender, race, religion, and ideology lines. It's literally just the people at the top absolutely do everything in their power to fuck over the people at the bottom. That's a real thing. And they use the politics of division and alienation to actually pit people against each other who probably should be working together. But it's extremely insidious. It is evil and fucked up. It's just fuck. And Hannah, thank you so much for the insights you're throwing out there tonight, actually. That's really good. I kind of like don't want to say too much, but there are elements of the state government here in Victoria who are making a concerted effort to work with the traditional owners of the land. And there is actually this is nothing to do with my day job, but there is actually a plan in motion in the Victorian government to move with actual treaty with Indigenous Australians, which would be good to actually acknowledge what has happened over the last 250 years. That would be good. So, yeah. See, just in New Zealand's interesting because the warlike behavior of the Maori actually forced the English to do a proper treaty. The English did then renege on a lot of their obligations under treaty and fuck over people. But I do feel like New Zealand's in a better space than Australia. Hannah, your health science degree was based on closing the gap. Thank you. Well, I really appreciate the stuff you're raising, Hannah. I really just want to say the thank you because I think you're making some really insightful points. And I really appreciate it. This is the thing, discussion. I feel like we're having a discussion. And that's what I fucking love. That's what I have very little time for people. And this is whether they're on the left or the right, where they won't have a discussion, where they just want to make pronouncements. And it's like, okay. And because by most people's standards, I'm a bleeding heart lefty or even a radical lefty. But then I have had various people attack me over time saying, well, you don't go hard enough on this issue or what. It's like, yeah, okay, you know what? I'm willing to have a discussion on that and talk about my own shortcomings and my own failings. But if you're just trying to score points and fucking hassle me, I'm not going to waste a lot of time on you because I've had too much experience with people who argue in bad faith to spend much time on people who are just trying to make me feel bad. Oh, Justin, the way the haka is in New Zealand culture is thing. Man, that makes me tear up. I remember seeing this video on YouTube of these high school students doing a haka for a teacher who had died. It seriously brought tears to my eyes. Just the expressiveness of the haka as a tribute, because I think the teacher was Maori. Most of the students were white, and they did a haka for the teacher at his memorial, and it just made me tear up. It was just a beautiful, emotional moment. Sorry, Hannah. Oh my god, you're so fucking funny. A massive fan of Piers Morgan's. Berate people. Oh, sorry. You got me right there, Hannah. That's fucking beautiful. Anyone set in their own ways without the ability to self-reflect. Yes, and I've had people attack me from a left-wing mode. It's far more common to have right-wingers attack me, but I have had people attack me from left-wing. So, Chog, you're left-wing. There is it is, and there's a whole thing. And see, Chog, I think you've hit the nail there where I'm talking about a conversation. If you can't have a conversation with someone and go, okay, what are we talking about here? Let's work through it. If someone clams up at the point you want to have a conversation, and that happens most often with right-wingers, but it does occasionally happen with people who profess to be left-wingers, where they won't have a conversation. They just need to demand this. And it's just like, well, maybe fuck you, honestly. And Hannah, I love that. I think when someone's refusing to consider the possibility they may be wrong, they're almost definitely wrong. Yeah, and also I think it's important to acknowledge that your own point of view is going to be dictated to a large degree about how you feel. It's like, okay, people presented stuff as evidence because people can present completely contradictory stuff as evidence, but you need to go like, okay, vibe check, that's not working for me. This is. I think that's the thing with the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's like really knowledgeable people doubt themselves, and really ignorant people are just fucking sure they're right. Like really ignorant people lack the ability to assess the possibility that they're wrong. We get extremely educated people being full of doubt and going, oh shit, I'm seeing all this and I've formed a picture and I think this is how it works, but I know there's probably a bunch of stuff that I don't know. Whereas super fucking ignorant people are going, I'm right about everything. And it's just like, oh fuck. And yeah, a good school essay would do that. You don't just say why you agree or think a particular thing. You have a structured argument about why you disagree with particular things. And yes, New Zealand does have Maori seats in the parliament. And you get a decent chunk of New Zealanders who will use Maori words and Maori ways of thinking in particular things. You get weird fucking racist right-wingers who won't. Another excellent point, Hannah. It's easy to have an idea and run with it. It can be difficult to take the time to look at how can I disprove an opposing point of view. Stricker saying, you reckon Trump's changed the way people converse? Oh, yeah. No, Trump validated morons, basically. Trump just went, "Hey, are you an ignorant, bigoted piece of shit? Watch me just validate everything you think." And they're like, "Yeah, there's a powerful person who validates every fucked up, stupid thing I think. I must be right. They must be great." It's it's just so fucked. So absolutely fucked. And you're saying in a suburb in Brisbane, business signs and street signs in languages. Because, yeah, why not? Yeah. Chog, modern discourse lacks compassion for humanity. Byproduct of internet. Well, the internet's not been great, quite honestly. Oh my god! Sorry, Hannah. I was just thinking about the hundreds of indigenous languages. On the Discord, I'll try and find it. One of our American friends, Gecko, he hasn't been on the stream for a little while, but he's a top dude, and he stumbled across something, and an Australian vodka brand called Bombora that talks about being the number one Australian vodka brand. I've literally never heard of it. I've never seen it on a shelf or not. And I looked at their website, and they actually had the phrase Bombora is Aborigine for reef. And I was like, who the fuck are these people? Who the fuck speaks like that? It's Aborigine for something? There are hundreds of indigenous languages. It's just, what the fuck? Oh, yes. Yeah. Music elevator weirdos being upset about Fraser Island being called Kugari. Yeah. It's just like fucking hell. Justin, Australia was made up of dozens of nations, and there's dozens of languages. And New Zealand is much smaller. And again, the Maori were fucking genocide. I'm not about to say the Maori were wonderful and perfect. They were genocidal. Like when they were so warlike. If they found, they went on a journey and found another island nation that were peaceful, they just fucking wipe them out. So he's saying the only indigenous language suburb names. Yeah, and there are a few towns. No, Shieldsy's not on Fraser Island. He's on Stradbroke Island, I think. Fraser Island is way further north. Stradbroke Island's just off Brisbane. Fraser Island's way further north, I think. Also, we haven't seen Shieldsy for a while. Don't know what our man's up to, but it's all good. Yeah, and again, Chog, cultural divisions I'm not a fan of. And that's a good thing. You don't expect to see yourselves in other people. That's a good thing. I had a really funny experience. This was a little while ago. I was meant to be meeting someone in the city, and I was waiting. It's like a Burke Street Mall. I was waiting at the tram stop, and there were a couple of young Indigenous women, and I think they may have had a couple of drinks, but they were completely harmless, and they just wanted to talk. I think they were from the country, the way they were talking, and they just wanted to talk to some of friends. And I went, okay, I feel like you've been freaking people out. You're clearly super non-threatening, and so I'm going to talk to you. And they were so happy that someone would just sit and talk with them, give them a hug and talk. And my mate came along, and he saw me being really quite friendly with these people at the stop. And he was a bit taken aback, and he said, these people, I don't know. We just met. They just wanted a friend. And so I was just friendly to them, and they were just super happy. And he was like, oh, okay. That's super fucking weird. Are you always just friends with strangers? And I went, depends on context. It was like they wanted a friend. They seemed super fucking harmless to me. And it was just like, I genuinely feel like they'd come from the country and they were freaking people out and they just wanted someone to be friendly. And I was friendly and they were super lovely. And my friend was going, okay, it's just not what I was expecting when I came up here, that you just made friends with strangers at a tram stop. And I was like, yeah, it was just like, just strangers making friends. It's the whole thing. Ooh, Chog. Oh, yes. That's a big one. Not knowing what someone has been through. Yeah. Oh, my God, dude. Yes. Treat people with kindness and respect. Don't let someone fuck you over. But I do feel like your default should be kindness and respect. Hannah. Yeah, I do believe you treat people injury. Sure. If you criticize the shoplifters because you're black, no, it's because you're being a dick. Yeah, no, honestly, yes. Safa, yes, okay. No one knows for sure where the name Dubbo came from. It is either a word that means red earth, or it's a reference to a ceremonial head covering. No one is completely sure where the name Dubbo comes from, but it is an indigenous word. And you went off at a kid. How dare you use 100 years of suffering to justify acting like a shitbag? This isn't racism, you're being a dick. Oh, Chog, I'm not going to. No, I think we agree West Dubbo. West Dubbo is shithole in. I swear to fucking God, someone from West Dubbo will be watching this stream at one point and they'll just go, fucking what? Why are you hanging shit on West Dubbo? It's because you're West Dubbo, man. I will get into serious trouble with someone from West Dubbo at one point. But I don't know, West Dubbo is just fucking weird. I say that 2 of my siblings lived in West Dubbo for ages. But yeah, Dubbo either means red earth or is a reference to a ceremonial head covering. And because the dirt around Dubbo is super red. So maybe it's that. Who knows? Strictly suburb. Look, like Werribee may actually be shithole because there are a lot of indigenous languages. They have a lot of different words for shithole. I kind of like Werribee because of the zoo. But yeah, I don't know. Because there are dozens of indigenous languages. There could be dozens of different places where the name means shithole, quite honestly. I personally, talking about things with indigenous languages, I personally love, there's a bit in Bruce Pascoe's book, Dark Emu, where he's looking at diary entries from colonizers in the first, say, 50 years of Australian colonization. And there were these dudes who went up the river south of Sydney and they came into contact with some indigenous people who were shouting something at them in the bank. And the guy's writing in his dictionary, he's trying to get it phonetic, what they were saying. And a modern linguist look at it and go, okay, what he's written phonetically doesn't directly match anything in the language that would have been used in that area. But it kind of sounds a bit like a phrase that means fuck off or I'll spear you. The guy's going, they said this, and I think that was a welcome message. And linguists are going, no, I kind of think they were saying fuck off or I'll spear you. Yes, Justin, Canberra was meant to mean meeting place. Yes, that's true. And yeah, Chog, I agree about seeing people as. I also think it's a bit complex. There's culture, we live in a society, but we are also individuals as well. Hannah, I feel like you know more about this than me. I knew there was a lot of languages and dialects, and you can get a map of First Nations of Australia, and there are a lot. There are a fuck ton. The Indigenous people saw Australia as being a fuck ton of different nations. There's a lot of them. And some of them were in alliance, and some of them were in conflict. And there was just the politics between nations in First Nations people was actually extraordinarily complex. It's like, colonizers came here and went, oh, yeah, it's just a bunch of native people. But it was just so much more complex than the colonizers understood. But, there's a lot to learn. And I did just call out Bruce Pascoe's Dark Evening. Might not be 100% accurate, but he did go to the trouble of researching what's the term they use in history? It's I don't know, but he was looking up original sources. He was looking up diaries of colonizers, and it was I feel like he makes a compelling case. It's not necessarily conclusive, but I feel like he makes a compelling case for, look at this colonizer's diary, look at the letters they wrote home, and put a bit of thought into it, and what these first settlers from Europe's observations suggest. And it's like they didn't even know they were suggesting it themselves, but their records suggest the First Nations people had a much more complex setup. I think that's Mrs. Angry telling me she's going to bed. She's already in bed. So I feel like that means I need to go to bed. So I get snow. Oh, actually, Hannah, you're right. There's a lot of dialects in English. England, you go 10 miles in England and there's a different fucking dialect, quite honestly. Oh, Hannah, you had a house called Amaroo. I remember a pub called the Amaroo in Dubbo. Indigenous word for a beautiful place. There's a pub in Dubbo called the Amaroo. I'm not joking. Yeah, I think it's cherry time. Just randomly. Sorry, I want to do shout out someone who showed up on Twitch just before I go to bed. Real Rad Ham. Hello. Most people have been watching me on YouTube, just FYI. But it's bedtime. I'm going to bedtime. So it's the ceremonial eating of the cherry, which means something to the regulars and is probably just super weird to anyone who's stumbled over me for the first time. But the cherry has been absorbing a few flavors over the last couple of hours. I'm going to eat that. Good night, you wonderful. I feel like we've had really good discourse tonight. I feel we have it most nights. But I feel like tonight's been pretty good. I'm going to take this out of the kitchen with the orange peel and the ice melt. Mrs. Angry puts that in her hot chocolate in the mirror. Safa, I don't know what we'll be watching tomorrow. We watched the last 2 episodes of Ahsoka today. Might watch Our Flag Means Death, actually, because there's episodes of that. So I genuinely don't know what we'll be watching tomorrow night. I'll give you... And there may or may not be a stream on Tuesday because I might end up having takeaway with my offspring. Who knows? But there's a few things to watch. Chog, I reckon it was great chats tonight with beautiful humans. And yeah, Mrs. Angry liked Ahsoka. We had a good chat about Ahsoka. We watched the last 2 episodes tonight. Okay, my one thing about Ahsoka, which is not really spoiler heavy, they relied really heavily on the heroes not being shot when they absolutely should have been shot. It's kind of lazy writing There's a lot of that in the Ahsoka series. It's like, no, the bad guys should have just fucking killed them there. And they just didn't for reasons. I feel like Ahsoka relied too heavily on that. But say Levi. I don't hate Ahsoka. Give it a 7 out of 10. But anyway, I'm going to go sleepy bobos now. May I might not see you on Tuesday night. We'll see how the week progresses. If you want to just chat at some point, fucking chat on the Discord. But I will see you another time and say bye for now.